In what sane universe would we ever let this hysterical woman determine the future of the republic? Well, we as the American people said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to let Fani Willis put President Trump in jail. She is a psychotic monster. She's wearing an upside down American flag pin. Her dress is literally on backwards. She doesn't know how to put her dress on. And she's somehow charging Donald Trump and wants to put him in jail for 400 years. She gave us a mugshot that was actually a gift, frankly, to the Trump campaign. And so for that, we're thankful to big Fani Willis. But no, Fani Willis, the district attorney of Fulton County, who is a perfect representative of the intelligence of Fulton County and the quality of people there. With her disgraced career, she might even be disbarred. She oversees Atlanta, which is just hell on earth. Have you ever been to Atlanta? It's one of the worst cities in America. I would perfectly be happy to deport the entire city. It's trash, but that city contributes 4 different congressional districts. They carve up Atlanta into these little districts in a ruby red state of Georgia, and then they hand over a DEI district down here also to Democrats. These are the old maps, ladies and gentlemen. These are the maps that were drawn by racists who are trying to pack as many black people into congressional districts as possible in order to steal votes for the Democrat Party, in order to get as much Section 8, as much high density housing into one tight compacted area so that they can shove more Democrat representatives into the House of Representatives. This con has been going on since the Civil Rights Act, which is really what this all was about. A power grab for Democrats, stealing at least 40 different Republican seats. We've been living in a fake country. Thankfully, the Supreme Court ended this entire charade. And now this little pocket right here, this is the Fani, let's just call this Big Fannyville, has got to go. And it seems like we have some very, very good news. Now, I want to begin by saying that bullying works. In this past week, we went viral bullying South Carolina and saying that South Carolina is totally and completely weak. They have a DEI district that is represented here by James Clyburn. This is Nancy Pelosi's second in command. He is the wokest of the woke. He's incredibly corrupt. He's ubiquitous all over corporate media and TV. He represents this trash district here. Whenever you see a district drawn like this, you know what's going on. You know what's happening here. Whenever you see these little squiggly lines, all these little jerking around, it's a fake district. And even though President Trump won South Carolina by 20 points, doesn't matter. James Clyburn gets a seat because of racism or something like that, because South Carolina fought in a war 150 years ago. And we shouldn't live like that anymore. And thankfully, we're not. I've issued an executive order calling the General Assembly to back for an extra legislative session to address the state budget and congressional districts beginning on Friday, says the South Carolina Governor, Henry McMaster. Everybody celebrating this, everybody loving this, and ladies and gentlemen, bullying works. This is the bullying that we have been doing to South Carolina, but we've also been bullying Georgia, and now, lo and behold, Governor Brian Kemp, probably the rhinoiest of all rhinos, just called a special session to redraw the district maps in Georgia. As little as a week ago, there was no redistricting. I wonder what changed his mind. In any event, hell yeah, we are going to win. We are going to win these battles. This is pathetic. This is how Louisiana redrew their ridiculous maps, and they left this squirrely ass Democrat district. This is just weakness. You could get rid of that district. Poop. You could just cut it right in half. You could just make these square. It'd be so easy to get rid of that district. I am so sick of the weakness. In Georgia, of course, Georgia could draw a sick, probably 2 Democrat seats, probably 2 seats to the Democrats, 11 to the Republicans. They could draw an absolute sick map. Now, this is the order, proclamation of a convening General Assembly in order to get the Georgia map redrawn. This is huge. Of course, Georgia hands over 5 seats to the Democrat automatically, even though President Trump won it handily and walking away in 2020. 24. Name another Democrat state that does that. No Democrat state does that. The Democrats have gerrymandered to the nth degree in all of their states. That's the difference here. So Democrats are like, oh, well, we'll just keep gerrymandering. They've already done it. Democrats have already gerrymandered as far as they can possibly go in any state. They have no more room left to run. And they are going to have massive population collapse of their Democrat states with their populations flowing into Republican states in the South. So Texas is going to get a ton more seats. Florida is going to get a ton more seats after the census. Huge news out of Georgia. Governor Kemp has officially ordered a special legislative session to completely overhaul the state's congressional district. If this goes according to plans, Republicans are primed to flip at least 2 extra House seats. That's exactly why we must expand our majority and win. It's official. Southern GOP states are now calling special sessions to redraw their congressional maps. 2026, South Carolina, Georgia will redraw their maps this week, but the maps won't be installed or ready to run until 2028. Georgia Republicans are saying that this is because they have already started voting in their primaries and their primary dates, which I'm no lawyer, but I guess it's an argument that I can get behind. I don't like the weakness of it. I would prefer just like YOLOing it and saying, nope, we're just going to redraw for 2026. But it's a positive outcome if you can get rid of multiple Democrat. You could whittle it down to 2 Democrat seats in Georgia.
Are rushing to redistrict. Georgia's governor calling a special session for next month to redraw the state's congressional lines. Meanwhile, South Carolina's governor is reportedly expected to call a special session next week with the same focus. They join a number of other states taking similar actions after the Supreme Court struck down Louisiana's congressional map last month, arguing it relied too heavily on race.
It relied entirely on race. So good. Republicans could likely pick up 2 more seats in Georgia, making it 11-3. Here's the catch. Kemp is not making the maps effective until 2028. The GOP has a rhino problem. I totally agree. Potential Georgia map after redistricting. Right now it's 5-9 Democrats. Crazy stupid map. Maximum redistricting warfare update. Remaining potential pickups if the South could actually get their act together would be 2-6. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be leaving a number of easy seats on the table. Why? Like, why hand more power to your enemy? I don't understand it. Look at this. Look at how much cleaner that map looks. Look at that. What you're looking for are like solid lines, nice big geographic areas where people have interests and they can vote their interests. This is one of the worst seats I've ever seen. I can't believe it. Rejected. Republicans, what are we doing? South Carolina Senate has rejected extending the legislative session on redistricting. But thankfully, we were able to bully them into fixing this. South Carolina is not done, says James Blair, White House political advisor. Something that you have to realize is that this is an existential battle for Democrats. If for 2028, if the GOP goes fully max and runs it back, then the floor is 2022. 222. Now, you need 218 to win the House. So the floor for the Republican Party is winning the House every single year. This is with maximum redistricting. And Democrats won't have a chance if we just have the will to power. So it's time for us to push. That's what we're going to do on this channel. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe.